Please subscribe to the channel to watch the latest videos.
Hello Patriots, I'm at Restored Republic via a GC.R update by Judy Byington. Nothing can stop what is coming. Trust the plan and enjoy the show. Q. A dark winter was predicted during 2024. It's only wise to be prepared and store several months worth of cash, water, food, and essential items for yourself and to help others. The FBI is sending out warnings that a terrorist attack on the U.S. is imminent and advising to stock up on a month's worth of essential items. The Rothschilds' Khazarian Mafia empire owned the U.S. Federal Reserve, the IRS, all central banks across the world, and 90% of international corporations such as the World Health Organization, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and World Economic Forum, and with a global currency reset pending, along with a fiat US dollar, they were all in the process of bankruptcy, including US Inc.'s Federal Reserve and Treasury. Runs on banks were beginning across the world, and there may soon be shortages of items in the stores. Though we must remember that the White Hat Military Global Alliance was in charge, they have a plan. And that plan is winning over the dark side, and the global currency reset was in view. Buckle up, enjoy the ride. President Trump reminds us, those who would destroy our lives with lies will themselves be destroyed by truth. Where we go one, we go all. FBI warns that a terrorist attack is imminent. FBI warning to Americans, get ready now for full spectrum survival. And Wednesday, November 1st, from Tina, my son-in-law works for Wells Fargo in Charlotte, North Carolina area and spends most of his time on Zoom calls with others at Wells Fargo, including bigwigs like CFOs. Today on the call, they were told that the FBI had contacted them and were told to tell their people to stock up on enough provisions for a month, that something was going to happen soon. The U.S. Treasury is officially bankrupt, will borrow $1 trillion from the Fed. In Australia, the banks are refusing customer withdrawals from their bank accounts. Wednesday, November 1st, was the CIA torturing, sexually abusing, killing children in mind control programs? In 1871, the Rothschild Khazarian Mafia created Israel under the 1871 Corporation Act. That Israel Inc. lease ended on Tuesday, October 31st, and the State of Israel is no more, meaning they will no longer be funded by the cabal. The Rothschilds' Khazarian Mafia empire not only owned Israel, but the U.S. Federal Reserve, IRS, which funded the UN, all central banks across the world, and 90% of international corporations, such as the World Health Organization, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, and World Economic Forum. The Rothschild Khazarian Mafia empire's wealth was based upon the Middle East acceptance of the U.S. petrodollar for oil payments. By 2008, that U.S. petrodollar was declared bankrupt. The Rothschild Khazarian Mafia was unable to pay even the interest on gold they borrowed from the Chinese elders used to set up the U.S. financial system in 1913. For many years prior, the U.S. Congress had been on an endless spending spree without conforming to a budget, which included unaccounted for monies given to the CIA's black budget. That endless CIA black budget was used by the Khazarian Mafia for their covert operations. As a result of endless spending by Congress and the CIA, plus the enormous interest the Rothschild Khazarian Mafia charged U.S. citizens to use their own monies, the U.S. had run out of gold to back their currency. The Rothschild Khazarian Mafia's Federal Reserve solved that problem by printing fiat currency. In that same 2008, when the U.S. dollar was declared bankrupt, the nations of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa formed the BRICS alliance. They were concerned about the demise of the fiat US petrodollar, and that was being used as a basis for international trade. BRICS proceeded to calculate the worth of 209 countries' natural resources, including gold deposits. BRICS was planning a global currency reset where each country would have its own currency, with those currencies being at a one-to-one to each other for the purpose of international trade. As of that same Tuesday, October 31st, when Israel Inc. became defunct, over 200 countries would no longer accept the fiat US petrodollar for oil transactions, plus refuse to buy any more US bonds, while China would no longer purchase US debt. The rejection of the US petrodollar, refusal of countries to buy US bonds, with the US debt limit reached and with China no longer willing to purchase that US debt, meant that the fiat US dollar no longer had power over the global financial system. Plus, the Rothschild-Khazarian mafia, which had controlled that fiat US dollar since 1913, no longer had control of the US political and banking system. The impending catastrophe of the fall of the useless fiat US petrodollar was bound to soon cause a massive stock market crash, catching many unaware of its potential magnitude. Once a stock market correction occurred, precious metals that the Rothschilds worked so hard to suppress would rise unabated, opening the door to the new gold asset-backed global currency reset. Timeline. Overnight, Sunday, October 15th, the banks completed the remaining layers of payments, plus the IMF and World Bank held their last meeting. By Monday, October 16th, the Iraqi dinar had revalued and began trading on the back screens of the Forex. On Thursday, October 26th, President Trump said the next 7 to 8 days would be ones to be remembered. On Friday, October 27th, the U.S. began pulling 3,600 U.S. troops out of Iraq so Iraq could declare themselves a sovereign nation, while the new rate of the dinar was said to have gone international, although had yet to show on the front screens of the Forex. Around Monday, October 30th, the country of Colombia revalued their currency, so now we have at least two countries, Iraq and Colombia, which have revalued their currencies, perhaps more. October 31st, All Hallows Eve, was when children were raped and sacrificed in honor of Satan. It was the day that Israel lost corporate status, meaning Israel Inc. was bankrupt along with other corporations of the cabal, and no longer considered a nation, all of which, along with Middle Eastern nations, no longer accepting the fiat petro US dollar for oil trade, was expected to soon cause a devastating stock market crash, bringing in the need for a global currency reset. Friday, November 3rd, Shiite factions in Lebanon linked to Iran have given Israel until 3 o'clock, 1500 military time, on Friday, November 3rd, to stop attacks on the Gaza Strip. And that Friday, November 3rd, appeared to be a highly coordinated date. Saturday, November 4th, when President Trump said the next 7 to 8 days would be the ones to be remembered, it took us to Saturday, November 4th, the same day that bond people have been told they would have liquidity. Get ready for EBS activation. Q says that after Argentina's election on Sunday, October 22nd, everything would change and the world would soon have no internet for a while. We are approaching that timeline. Get ready for it. Q. And bombshell EBS activation on October 22nd. Biden's retirement, Trump's return, and the White Hat's plan revealed. Starting January 1st, 2024, the fiat US dollar would be replaced by the gold asset-backed US note. All such gold asset-backed currencies across the globe would be on par, one-to-one with each other. Social Security benefits will be much higher, and the SSR&R payments would start on a monthly basis. In the next 3 to 6 months, the Rodriguez Trust will begin to administer universal basic income for citizens of all GC.R compliant countries. The amount per individual or family will depend on the status needs, employment level, and age of the person, family, and will work to encourage people to work if they can. Global currency reset. Global currency reset. Wednesday, November 1st, TNT. The RV was supposed to go last night, so we are just waiting. Wednesday, November 1st, Mark Z. A number of contacts both in and outside of Iraq said it did go very well this past weekend, and they are expecting an announcement within days. Tuesday, October 31st, from Bruce. One of Bruce's contacts said reclamation and restitution funds will be released for seniors 65 and older this coming weekend, Saturday the 4th, Sunday the 5th, November. During the month of November, the Social Security raises should be seen in your regular Social Security paycheck. Bank rates were connected to the Forex, while redemption center screens showed higher rates. So it would benefit to do your exchange redemption at a redemption center rather than a bank. All ZIM holders must go to redemption centers. Tuesday, October 31st, Mr. Salvage on Telegram. There was a report that the paymaster of New York, Michael J. Rubin, said that everything was done. All money was in all banks and ready to go. All codes were in. The nation of Colombia was already liquid. Just have patience, we are there. Kurdistan. The Kurdistan regional government has announced its decision to exclusively adopt the Iraqi dinar for all transactions at border crossings and airports, effective on Wednesday, November the 1st. Tuesday, October 31st, P. Art on Telegram. Okay, guys, I sat down with one of my bank's branch managers today. They are Basel III and IV compliant. I asked her about the RV, and she said she just got an email coming through that said the Tuesday, November 7th. She's checking with her higher ups getting back to me. Her response was, how did you know all of this? Craig Wilson. Well, folks, it's being reported tonight, Monday, October 30th, that about a week ago, the Iraqi GOI and the CBI released to the U.S. Treasury the new international exchange rate. This came from an Iraqi bank partner of a bank here in the USA. It is also believed that the U.S. Treasury has started some exchange steps with the CBI of some of the Iraqi dinar that the U.S. Treasury holds in its reserves. Sorry, it's not on ABC or NBC or any fake stream news yet, but it is from a source that IMO has credible information. That is all. Carry on. With the global currency reset will come real estate tokenization, where buying a home normally took 30 days to close will be done in 30 seconds. Tokenization will change and no longer be called mortgage, which literally means death pledge. Loans will no longer exist. Monday, October 30th, TNT. The IMF and Federal Reserve contacts are saying the rate should change by November 1st. Banks have been told the same. Announcement of the new Iraqi dinar rate was imminent. Iraq placed lower denominations of dinar at ports and airlines on Thursday, October 26th. Monday, October 30th, Mark Z. Bond folks are still saying they expect theirs on November 4th right now. I hear the 5th is huge from a number of sources. That would make sense if they go late on the 4th and unleash us on the 5th, but who knows. Monday, October 30th, Wolverine. We are still going, guys. Colombia is a good example. On Sunday, October 29th, they had a meeting with leaders all over the world. They are ready to go. Monday, October 30th, Bogota, Colombia banker Nelson Ruiz. The BBVA Compass Bank is ready. All paymasters have the money and codes are liquid and ready to go. Everyone was positive after the reunion last Tuesday, October 24th. In the redemption centers, we will get a new computer. Saturday, October 28th, from Alex Collier. The dinar went international on Friday, the 27th of October, and on that same Friday, they began pulling 3,600 U.S. troops out of Iraq, so Iraq could declare Iraq a sovereign nation. 2 days ago, President Trump said the next 7 to 8 days would be ones to be remembered. Monday, October 30th, Dave XRP Lyon. Redemption Center in Zimbabwe, biggest and most important update ever. We never expected this. Must watch Trump news before it's news. And Tuesday, October 31st, the power of the groundbreaking QFS ledger account, ISO 20022 coins, XRP and XLM, the impending GC.R, and why the traditional banking system's days are numbered. Global financial crisis. The U.S. Treasury is officially bankrupt and will borrow $1 trillion from the Fed. Wednesday, November 1st, General McInerney, banks are blocking transfers and cash withdrawals, making it very difficult to access your own money in Australia. And U.S. government arrests founder of SafeMoon crypto token. Restored republics. Wednesday, November 1st, continuity of government, Derek Johnson. October 5th, 2023, White Hats destroy FEMA's EBS. Real Raw News. Tuesday, October 31st, ladies and gentlemen, the New Republic, a dramatic shift in governance and fiscal policy. And Tuesday, October 31st, urgent military intel. Congress and the Intel Committee are planning to expose the military coup. Wednesday, November 1st, list of 200 U.S. organizations that have financial ties to Nazi war criminal George Soros, which actively seeks to overthrow America's Democratic Republic. World War III. On Tuesday, October 31st, Yemen officially declared they are at war with Israel. The Republic of Yemen is the first country officially to announce its entry into the Battle of the Flood of Al-Aqsa and launches a large number of ballistic and winged missiles and drones at a number of Israeli IOF targets inside occupied Palestine. Wednesday, November 1st, Hamas vows to repeat October 7th. Get ready for Friday, November 3rd. Tuesday, October 31st, eyes wide open. 21 of the world's strongest armies, including the US, UK, China, and Russia, are building up their military power in the Middle East for the first time since the end of World War II. Wednesday, November 1st, Taiwan says China has sent another 43 military aircraft and 7 ships near the island, and the article just happens to mention 6 o'clock. Taiwan's defense ministry said the figure was current for the 24 hours up to 6 a.m. Wednesday, November 1st, IDF sends warships to Red Sea after aerial attacks from Yemen. And Vladimir Putin, when you look at bloody children, dead children, how women, old people suffer, how doctors die and fists clench and tears well up in your eyes, you can't say it any other way. But we shouldn't. We don't have the right to allow ourselves to be guided by emotions. We must clearly understand who is really behind the tragedy of the people of the Middle East and other regions of the world, who organizes deadly chaos, who benefits from it. Today, this has become obvious and clear to everyone. The customers act openly and brazenly. It is the ruling elites of the United States and their satellites that are the main beneficiaries of global instability. Tuesday, October 31st, from Benjamin Fulford. Fake President Biden declares World War III, but he has no army. An additional 300 U.S. troops will deploy to the U.S. Central Command Area of Operations from the continental United States, Pentagon Press Secretary Air Force Brigadier General Pat Ryder said today. Tuesday, October 31st, breaking news, Yemen Army Spox. Yemen has officially declared war on Israel, from Hal Turner Report. Israel strikes Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza, says it took out a Hamas leader. Tuesday, October 31st, boom, Putin's explosive accusations against the West and the deep state. Wednesday, November 1st, breaking, highest level issued, warning to all, real GS news, war and conflict before its news. The real news for Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. HARP, a weapon on mass destruction that creates climate change. Angels definitely don't play this HARP. It uses electromagnetic waves to stimulate geophysical events, such as modifying the weather, earthquakes, climate change, hurricanes, and the like. To put it simply, it works by transmitting high amount of radio frequencies into the ionosphere. It boils the upper atmosphere, and after heating and disturbing the ionosphere, the radiation will bounce back onto Earth in the form of long waves, which penetrate our bodies, the ground, and the oceans, etc. HAARP and all of the rest of the ionosphere heaters located around the globe are weapons of mass destruction. Period. Biden crime family. Joe Biden sold a house for $1.2 million in 1996, and nearly 3 decades later, it's still only worth $1.65 million. Did he get paid over the odds by a donor? And that's from dailymail.co.uk. Joe Biden received $40,000 directly in laundered China CCP cash. More direct evidence of the Biden crime family using Joe's last name. And there was always a cut for the big guy. Dangers of 5G towers. Occultic technocrats have found a way to broadcast their black magic via technology. The 5G towers are actually psi weapons. They have nothing to do with the high-speed internet. They specifically target parts of the brain's nervous system that they want in order to make you feel more docile, angry, sad, or anxious, depending on the situation and the outcome which they desire. They have been using these weapons for a very long time. Even prior to World War II, they've been using it to break the spirits of their enemies, where these frequencies can become too much to handle. Part 1. Judy Byington, as published in Before It's News, CIA torturing, sexually abusing, killing children in mind control programs. This is at beforeitsnews.com. There has been no media coverage on the 31 years of congressional investigations on the satanic ritual abuse of children and a CIA mind control program called MKUltra. No, nor has Congress acted upon results of their findings. No surprise there. After sponsoring 3 different hearings on the subject during those 31 years. They pretend to do something about it by talking about it, but nothing gets done. Same thing today. Seems like nothing gets done. They talk about it and they expose things. Nothing gets done. Over 16 years ago, 20 leading journalists, including winners of several Emmys and a Pulitzer, described being prevented by corporate media ownership from reporting riveting stories on major cover-ups such as these human experiments on children. When was the last time you read about or saw a media broadcast on CIA mind control? Never. The banning of journalists from reporting on this government-sponsored torturous abuse of children was obviously going on today as per testimonies of those who were lucky enough to survive and their therapists. Though since 1964 and to this day, many other victims have come forward to prove that the CIA mind control of child victims was ongoing. It involved childhoods filled with rape, torture, and being made to view the murder of other children, often their friends. Way back in a 2007 extreme abuse survey, 234 satanic ritual abuse survivors stated that they remember being used in the CIA government-sponsored mind control experiments in the U.S., while 83 said they remember being used in CIA government-sponsored mind control experiments in Canada. Over 59 years ago in 1964, CIA mind control survivor Linda McDonald, who was born into a multi-generational satanic ritual abuse family of the McDonald's hamburger franchises. Remember, McDonald's was caught using human meat in their burgers, so that does not surprise me. Won a class action lawsuit against the CIA. In that same 1964, Congress began hearings on a CIA mind control program called MKUltra and supposedly officially shut it down. By the 1970s, more SRA survivors had come forward to Congress, and they again began investigations and hearings on the CIA mind control program, child torture program, MKUltra. Some reported that CIA directors Richard Helms and George W. Bush were their perpetrators. It wasn't until 1973 that CIA Director Richard Helms resigned, though he did so only after destroying MKUltra documents. In 1976, another congressional investigation on CIA human experimentation in MK-Ultra finally led to a 1977 U.S. Senate Pike Committee investigation, though Congress voted not to publish the dramatic results. By 1995, CIA satanic ritual abuse mind control was back on the congressional menu, titled the President's Advisory Committee on Human Radiation Experiments by the CIA. Among those testifying were 2 SRA survivors, Christine, Nicola, and an unnamed, plus an SRA therapist. They testified of child rape, torture, and naked children being made to view the murder of others, who were often young ones who the victims were emotionally close to, like childhood friends or family members. Videos of the SRA survivor and therapist testimonies have disappeared from the internet, and later all 3 died under mysterious circumstances. The purpose of the CIA mind control programming is to secure lifelong power over an individual in order to create super spies, terrorists, assassins, and or have lifelong control over a victim. That preferred victim was likely a young child, because multiple personalities controlled by the perpetrator can only occur in the developing brain of a child subjected to prolonged trauma. The torture to separate brain patterns begins at a very early age, sometimes even in the womb through electroshock treatments on the mother. In 1950, CIA mind control experiments were said to have begun on humans, many of whom were innocent children, although since the techniques came out of World War II, Nazi Germany concentration camps, the torture-based experiments on children were believed to have started much earlier. Survivors of the program say it involved international child kidnapping, sex abuse, and exploitation networks that were run out of the Vatican. The CIA program, eventually known as MK-Ultra, consisted of 149 sub-projects, plus another 33 closely related programs. There were 80 participating U.S. and Canadian institutions, including 44 colleges and universities. All were, and it is suspected still were, presently being funded by U.S. taxpayers through a CIA black budget. In 1964, after a successful lawsuit by mind control survivor Linda McDonald, congressional inquiries supposedly ended MK-Ultra, but that's not true. MK-Ultra research continued but was curtailed in 1967 and thought extinct by 1973 after MK-Ultra documents were destroyed by CIA Director Richard Helms prior to his resignation, and another congressional inquiry. Yet the 1977 Freedom of Information Act was able to uncover 20,000 MK-Ultra financial documents on the program that were not destroyed and proved that the program was ongoing. CIA mind control survivor Kristen Nicola testified before a 1995 President's Advisory Committee on CIA Human Radiation Experiments, claiming she was subjected to human experiments from age 4 through age 14, or until 1976. Victim C, who testified in the same hearing, said she was in the experiments from age 7 through age 24, or until 1984, 20 years after the supposed closure of MK-Ultra. In the 2007 Extreme Abuse Surveys, 234 ritual abuse survivors stated that they remember being used in government-sponsored mind control experiments in the U.S., while 83 said they remember being used in government-sponsored mind control experiments in Canada. In reviewing ages of the over 1,471 severe abuse study participants in the surveys, over half were born after 1964, when MK-Ultra was supposedly no longer functioning. Many were being abused way after 1973, when Helms resigned and destroyed MK-Ultra documents. In the 2007 Extreme Abuse Studies, 147 mind control victims stated yes when asked if they were currently being accessed and abused by ritual abuse mind control perpetrators against their will. Statistics from the 2007 Extreme Abuse Surveys. Ages and number of those who responded yes to the question, I was subjected to government-sponsored mind control experimentation. And there is your list. 0 to 2 was 139. 3 to 6 was 226. 7 to 13, 234. 14 to 17, 173. 18 to 30, 116 people. 31 plus, and it says 31 plus 91. I've been transported out of my local area for purposes of ritual abuse mind control. 465 responded yes. I've been transported out of my country for the purposes of ritual abuse mind control. 177 responded yes. Government-sponsored mind control experiments were performed on me as a child. 257 responded yes. My perpetrator deliberately created programmed dissociative states of mind. 640 responded yes. Responded yes to I was subjected to brain implants. 117. Electronic harassment, 460. Electroshock, 558. Eugenics experiments, 90. Forced abortion, 395. Forced impregnation, 416. Forced participation in murder by perpetrators, 502. Forced to abuse other victims, 615. Forced to murder or think they murdered a baby, 560. And incest, 780. U.S. government mind control survivors have testified that they have witnessed U.S. government officials using children as sex slaves with political figures to blackmail and secure U.S. tax monies to fund programs. U.S. government mind control survivors have named 2 CIA directors as their perpetrators. I think one of them is Brennan. Claimed rape and breeding children who disappeared after birth and say they were forced to rape, torture, and murder other children. Repetitive trauma on child victims was known to result in a breakdown of the psyche, fractured parts, and dissociation. With memories of trauma repressed, victims are most often not believed when memories come forward through fractured parts, 20 to 30 years after the fact. This makes it near impossible for victims to be believed or granted prosecution of crimes against them and their children. Perpetrators appear to have high rankings in our churches, communities, and government. U.S. government human experiments on children is blatantly happening today, according to the watchdog Alliance for Human Research Protection.
Republic via GC.R. Judy note, there have been 51 intelligence officers caught in collusion with a massive cover-up of corruption in the U.S. government, while in the meantime placing Biden as U.S. president through 2020 election fraud. Now this deep state cabal was trying to start World War III so they could money launder back into their own pockets, monies given to support both sides of the war. While a global currency reset was completing perhaps by Tuesday of next week, the nation was put on high alert. Although of course, such was not announced to the general public, nor did the mainstream fake media pay any attention this week as the old global financial system went down the tubes. At 4:30 a.m. Thursday 2nd of November morning, a massive number of U.S. military aircraft were deployed over the continental U.S. This has never happened on this scale before, according to Hal Turner News. By Thursday 2nd of November afternoon, VIP jets from Washington, D.C. were on their way to the Cheyenne Mountain Underground Complex in Colorado. Jordan and Saudi Arabia have refused to let Yemen use their airspaces to attack Israel. Yemen declared war on Israel. Bahrain recalled its ambassador to Israel and Israel recalled its ambassador to Bahrain. Hezbollah has warned Israel to stop the war by 3 p.m. Friday 3rd of November. Sunday 5th of November, remember the 5th of November is a poem by Guy Fawkes. Guy Fawkes Night, also known as Guy Fawkes Day, Bonfire Night, and Fireworks Night, is an annual commemoration observed on 5th of November, primarily in Great Britain, involving bonfires and fireworks displays. The phrase is often used to predict events of the Q movement. The U.S. government is prepping for a potential onslaught of Iranian cyber attacks in retaliation for support for Israel and its conflict with Hamas. On Thursday 2nd of November, Donald Trump posted its time and stated that the biggest event we will have in this country will happen in this month of November 2023. Thursday 2nd of November, Trump issues emergency martial law dictatorship warning, pray for peace in Jerusalem. Pray for peace in the world. A timeline. On Thursday 2nd of November, Donald Trump posted its time and stated that the biggest event we will have in this country will happen this month of November 2023. Friday 3rd of November, Shiite factions in Lebanon linked to Iran have given Israel until 1500 hours on Friday 3rd of November to stop attacks on the Gaza Strip. That Friday 3rd of November appeared to be a highly coordinated date. Saturday 4th of November, when President Trump said the next 7 to 8 days would be ones to be remembered, it took us to Saturday 4th of November. The same day that bond people have been told they would have liquidity. Sunday 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November is a poem by Guy Fawkes. Guy Fawkes Night, also known as Guy Fawkes Day, Bonfire Night, and Fireworks Night, is an annual commemoration observed on 5th of November, primarily in Great Britain, involving bonfires and fireworks displays. The phrase is often used to predict events of the Q movement. Get ready for EBS activation. Q says that after Argentina's election on Sunday 22nd of October, everything would change and the world would soon have no internet for a while. We are approaching that timeline. Get ready for it, Q bombshell. EBS activation on October 22nd, Biden's retirement, Trump's return, and the White Hat's plan revealed. Starting January 1, 2024, the fiat US dollar would be replaced by the gold/asset-backed US note. All such gold/asset-backed currencies across the globe would be on par 1-to-1 with each other. Social Security benefits will be much higher in the SSR&R. Payments would start on a monthly basis. In the next 3 to 6 months, the Rodriguez Trust will begin to administer universal basic income for citizens of all GC.R-compliant countries. The amount per individual or family will depend on the status, needs, employment level and age of the person/family and will work to encourage people to work if they can. B Global Currency Reset, Thursday 2nd of November. Bruce, two different banks reported that the window for exchanges to start was from now to Tuesday. 7th of November. The window for notification to make exchange/redemption appointments were from after 5 p.m. Friday 3rd of November to Tuesday. 7th of November mid-morning. Other sources said notifications and appointments should occur in the next couple of days. The age 62 and over restitution allowance starts activation this weekend, with monies in your account near your SS date. The SS increase in your payment should also be in your SS payment. Wednesday 1st of November. TNT, the RV was supposed to go last night, so we are just waiting. The IMF and Federal Reserve contacts said the rate should change by November 1st. Banks have been told the same. Announcement of the new Iraqi dinar rate was imminent. Iraq placed lower denominations of dinar at ports and airlines on Thursday 26th of October. Wednesday 1st of November. Marks, a number of contacts both in and outside of Iraq said it did go very well this past weekend and they are expecting an announcement within days. Bond folks are still saying they expect theirs on November 4th. I hear the 5th is huge from a number of sources. That would make sense if they go late on the 4th and unleash us on the 5th, but who knows. Wednesday 1st of November. Kurdistan, the Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG, has announced its decision to exclusively adopt the Iraqi dinar for all transactions at border crossings and airports, effective on Wednesday 1st of November. Tuesday, 31st of October. Mr. Salvage on Telegram, there was a report that the paymaster of New York Michael J. Rubin said that everything was done. All money was in all banks and ready to go. All codes were in. The nation of Colombia was already liquid. Just have patience. We are there. Tuesday, 31st of October. PR.EAKING on Telegram, okay guys, I sat down with one of my bank's branch managers today. They are Basel III and IV compliant. I asked her about the RV and she said she just got an email coming through that said the Tuesday, 7th of November she's checking in with her higher-ups getting back to me. Her response was, how do you know all this? Lol hoo let's go. Monday 30th of October. Bogotá, Colombia. Banker Nelson Ruiz, the BBVA Compass Bank is ready. All paymasters have the money and codes are liquid and ready to go. Everyone was positive after the reunion last Tuesday. 24th of October. In the redemption centers we will get a new computer. Wednesday 1st of November. Boom. The shadows of the NSA and DARPA programs, currency revaluation and redemption in a surveillance state. Thursday 2nd of November. Bill Watch 09, in the Senate, Finance Minister on US dollar/bond 1-to-1 parity. See Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. Bruce, the big call. The age 62 and over restitution allowance starts activation this weekend, with monies in your account near your SS date. The SS increase in your payment should also be in your SS payment. Two different banks said the window for exchanges to start was from now to Tuesday. 7th of November, notification to make exchange/redemption appointments should come after 5 p.m. Friday 3rd of November to Tuesday. 7th of November mid-morning. Other sources said it should occur in the next couple of days. Iraq may publish their new dinar rate in their gazette next Saturday 4th of November. The bank rate is the same as the international rate. If you want a higher rate, make an appointment at a redemption center. Recent GC.R history, overnight Sunday 15th of October. The banks completed the remaining layers of payments, plus the IMF and World Bank held their last meeting. By Monday 16 October the Iraqi dinar had revalued and began trading on the back screens of the Forex. On Thursday 26 October President Trump said the next 7 to 8 days would be ones to be remembered. On Friday 27 October the U.S. began pulling 3,600 U.S. troops out of Iraq so Iraq could declare themselves a sovereign nation, while the new rate of the dinar was said to have gone international, although had yet to show on the front screens of the Forex. Friday 27 October Alex Collier, the dinar went international on Friday 27 October and on that same Friday they began pulling 3,600 U.S. troops out of Iraq so Iraq could declare Iraq a sovereign nation. 2 days ago President Trump said the next 7 to 8 days would be ones to be remembered. Craig Wilson, on Monday 30 October it was reported that about a week ago, the Iraqi GOI and the CBI, released to the U.S. Treasury, the new international exchange rate. This came from an Iraqi bank partner of a bank here in the USA. It is also believed that the U.S. Treasury has started some exchange steps with the CBI of some of the Iraqi dinar that the U.S. Treasury holds in its reserves. Sorry it's not on ABC or NBC or any fake stream news yet, but it is from a source that IMO has credible information. That is all, carry on. Around Monday 30 October the country of Colombia revalued their currency, so now we have at least 2 countries, Iraq and Colombia, which have revalued their currencies, perhaps more. October 31 All Hallows Eve was when children were raped and sacrificed in honor of Satan. It was the day that Israel lost corporate status, meaning Israel Incorporated was bankrupt, along with other corporations of the cabal, and no longer considered a nation, all of which, along with Middle Eastern nations no longer accepting the fiat petro US dollar for oil trade, was expected to soon cause a devastating stock market crash, bringing in the need for a global currency reset. Global financial crisis, Thursday 2 November Sheila, the Bank of Japan is the first domino to fall. The rest of the G7 central banks will fall in rapid succession. Debasement of the currency now leads to rapidly rising bond yields. Which will collapse these already existing non-performing financial assets on bank balance sheets. We are rapidly moving into ISO 20022. Prepare for a financial Armageddon. What is about to happen next cannot be stopped. Once investors realize the mounting financial losses from a rapidly debasement of the currency, any hour now, gold will rocket. Wednesday 1 November. The changing of the guard. 21 major countries are currently refusing to use the US dollar for oil transactions. Las Vegas casino workers set to strike on Friday 10 November, disrupting 18 casinos that will be affected including Bellagio and Caesars. Efforts toward republics. Wednesday 1 November, breaking covert intel, US in serious danger. Professor Ellis Washington, JAD, I am exposing the imposter corporation country we are presently enslaved under. A country secretly established by the Rothschild family, for example, the central bankers, in 1871 known as the United States of America Incorporated. This little-known but stolen history of humanity has allowed a very small cabal of super-rich, narcissistic, psychopaths belonging to various satanic cults and secret societies called among other names the Rothschild Khazarian Mafia, Illuminati, British monarchy, and all the monarchies of Europe, Freemasons, Rosicrucians, Skull and Bones, Vatican, Jesuits and other secret societies. Along with their allied institutions including the Council of 13, Committee of 300, Octagon Group, Trilateral Commission, World Economic Forum, United Nations, International Monetary Fund, Council on Foreign Relations, Bilderberg Group, Davos and other globalist, elitist entities connected to the Satanic New World Order, or the One World Government of the Antichrist, Revelation 13. The deconstruction of American law and the apotheosis of President Donald J. Trump. Real news for real patriots from the Judy Byington Report, Part 43, Ellis Washington Report from the Shadows for 150 years, 1871 to 2021. The Rothschild central bankers in particularly have been using their trillions to effectively enslave hundreds of millions of people in America, including billions and billions of people worldwide under the treacherous legislation called the District of Columbia Act of 1871. In England this law was called the 1871 Act of England and a version of this evil Machiavellian legislation that has enslaved America and the world for 150 years exits in virtually every United Nations member state country in the world in the perpetual bondage of chattel slavery and debt slavery to this day. To escape the 150-year Rothschild chattel slavery systems, for example, birth certificates, death certificates, social security numbers bought, sold and using bonds to trade people's identities like animals on Wall Street, and Rothschild debt slavery systems, for example, IRS, income taxes, death taxes, fiat/counterfeit currency not based on gold or silver, but based on nothing. National currencies of the world promiscuously printed at will by the Rothschild central bankers to fund perpetual false flag wars, while keeping the entire world enslaved inside the birth, school, labor, taxes, debts, retirement, death cycle of the Rothschild Khazarian Mafia Matrix, 1871 to 2021. Then read and share the truth of my critical thinking blog that has recently exceeded 22 million views at elliswashingtonreport.com and on his social media, at Facebook, at Twitter. Author Professor Ellis Washington, J.D. For further research and reading, see my comprehensive 5-part essay series on the Rothschild Khazarian Mafia, aka Central Bankers. About the author Professor Ellis Washington, J.D., I went to Harvard Law School for 1 year. 1988-89 with future POTUS Barack Hussein Obama, born 1960, d. September 29, 2019. But I took the opposite path in life: New World Order, communism, treason, pedophilia, abortion and satanic ritual abuse versus Christianity, conservatism, protecting the children, protecting life and Trumpism. I repeatedly refused to take the Satan oath for careerism and celebrity, which is why I've been blacklisted since 1989. For over 34 years, for my entire legal and academic career, yet I fight on. Why? To avenge Harvard University's original 1692 motto, Veritas pro Christo et Ecclesia, equals truth for Christ and the Church. World War III, Hezbollah warns Israel to stop war by Friday 3 November, World War III watch. Warmonger Joe Biden is now threatening China with war and pledges military action to defend the Philippines following incident in the South China Sea. The U.S. government is prepping for a potential onslaught of Iranian cyber attacks in retaliation for support for Israel and its conflict with Hamas. Iran backs a network of sophisticated cyber operators, akin to those that work with Russia and China, who have the capacity to tunnel into government systems and/or disable companies' entire computer networks. Tehran has launched attacks in the U.S. in the past, but the risk is far higher and more serious in light of the conflict in Gaza. Wednesday 1 November. Something terminated over Pacific Ocean. Wednesday 1 November. Live free or die, surviving the Great Terror, Biden's rush to World War III, and globalist bioweapons in T.A.T.W.A.K.I. Biden crime family. The Biden regime and international donors send $80 million every 2 weeks to Taliban-controlled Afghanistan amidst reports of funds being misappropriated, says government watchdog, Jim Hoft, the Gateway pundit. Trump shining a spotlight. The National Archives has located 82,000 pages of emails that President Joe Biden sent or received during his vice presidential tenure on 3 private pseudonym accounts. Q told us 5 years ago, think private email addresses. Fortunately, Q also said, we have it all. I-News, HARP weather manipulation and the deep state cabal's 5-minute cities. The deep state cabal's World Economic Forum is laying the groundwork to take over every aspect of our lives through 5-minute cities. In the first 8 months of 2023, the U.S. experienced 23 separate billion-dollar weather and climate disasters, which included the Maui fires disaster that left over 2,000 children still missing without a trace of their bodies. Man-made controlled and with pinpoint accuracy, electromagnetic waves, EMRs, from the cabal's high-frequency auroral research program, HAARP, was known to start fires, earthquakes, tsunamis, tornadoes, and flooding, with the potential to destroy everything on Earth, and fulfill the deep state cabal's dream for 15-minute cities that completely control your life and pocketbook. Israel's Gaza is the template for the 15-minute cities. In the West Bank there are no citizens, people are guarded with automatic weapons and treated like slaves, an experiment for the deep state cabal's Agenda 21. On Tuesday, August 8, 2023, the 126-year-old capital of the sovereign nation of Hawaii and Lahaina, Maui was destroyed. Hundreds of men, women and children were presumed dead, at least 4,500 displaced. Now 3 months later, over 2,000 children remain missing, no bodies found. There was never a treaty, consent or decree on the annexation of the Hawaiian Islands to U.S. Incorporated. The native people of the Hawaiian Islands have never agreed that they would become a state of the United States. They had long planned to declare their sovereignty and revert back to the Kingdom of Hawaii. It was believed that to control the fiercely sovereign native Hawaiians, the deep state cabal planned to make the native Hawaiian capital of Lahaina into a 15-minute city. It was thought that the deep state was behind the devastation of Lahaina through use of their HARP direct energy weapons, (D.E.W.S.). Acapulco, Mexico's hurricane notice that hit on Wednesday 25 October, 2023 was believed caused by HARP manipulation of weather patterns. Acapulco was now planned to be rebuilt into a 15-minute city. Hurricane notice strikes Acapulco, Mexico as Category 5 nightmare scenario. Los Angeles will become free of private cars by 2030. Klaus Schwab and former Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti talked about this together. A self-driving car will pick you up and take you to the airport. That way the cabal can have complete control over your freedom of transportation. The real news for Thursday, November 2, 2023, Wednesday 1st of November. Urgent. Military intel: Congress and the Intel Committee are planning to expose the military coup. Wednesday 1st of November. List of 200 U.S. organizations that have financial ties to Nazi war criminal George Soros, which actively seek to overthrow America's democratic republic. The word government actually means mind control. It etymologically originated from the ancient Latin language. It divides into two words: 1, governare, meaning to control, and 2, mens or mentis, meaning mind. Every time you hear the term fossil fuel on the TV, radio, news, etc., you're being lied to. In 1892, at the Geneva Convention, the smartest man in the oil industry, J.D. Rockefeller, paid scientists to call oil a fossil fuel to induce the idea of scarcity, in order to set a world price for oil. The truth is that oil is actually the second most prevalent liquid on Earth next to water, and regenerates within the Earth faster than it can ever be deleted. Fuel was free once, but Rothschild and BlackRock scam people. A second Declaration of Independence for the new Republic of the United States of America signed by President Donald Trump on July 4, 2020. Transcribed by Mark Bowman, February 9, 2020 from parchment paper from original. New York attorney Letitia James arrested by JAG, Biden arresting Trump supporters. Sergeant report, The Hidden Truth About Antarctica, Dust in Nemos. Thursday 2nd of November. Chemtrails and blocking the sun. Edward Snowden on Telegram. Bill Gates wants to block out the sun in order to help with climate change, by dispersing nanoparticles into the stratosphere. How is this dim the sun technology different from chemtrails? The process seems to be exactly the same as we are seeing in our skies every day, but no one questions what they see in the skies. Watch what happens after a couple of hours of spraying. The weather turns from sunny to cloudy and you feel weird from the poison you are breathing. It looks like a grayish, cloudy layer that gets stuck there. It neither rains nor it gets more or less cloudy. Now the real question what critical thinkers should ask. Why in the world does Billy want to block out the sun if the supposed global warming or climate change is driven by human activity and carbon emissions? For a smart person, either he has a wisdom of a goldfish, or there is something much more sinister behind it. It's up to you to decide. Thursday 2nd of November. President Trump, if this election doesn't work, if this election is rigged and stolen, if bad things happen, our country will not survive. If Crooked Joe and the Democrats get away with removing my name from the ballot, then there will never be a free election in America again. We will have become a dictatorship where your president is chosen for you. You will no longer have a vote, or certainly won't have a meaningful vote. And you could say frankly, that has already begun. This truly is our final chance to save America, and with the 2024 election now, less than 1 year away. This is your chance to take a stand against tyrants and support the one and only movement that can save our country and make America great again. We must win in 2024. If we don't win, we will not have a country. If we do win, we will make America greater than it's ever been before. Thank you. Satanic Hollywood actor Matthew Perry posted cryptic messages calling himself Batman before he died. Jen, you were right. I never should have sold my soul to get the gig on Friends. And Starlink satellite system dual purpose. On Monday 30th of October, our next generation Starlink optical space lasers were launched. The hidden guardians of the sky. Starlink satellites were technological marvels launched by SpaceX which had a singular mission, to provide high-speed internet access to every corner of the globe. Or so the world thought. Dr. Ava Thompson, a brilliant astrophysicist, stumbled upon a mystery while studying the orbital patterns of these satellites. Their movements were not just for optimizing internet connectivity. There was a hidden pattern, a secret code embedded in their dance. The Starlink satellites were not just internet providers, they were disguised as ion weapons, capable of unleashing a powerful electromagnetic pulse, EMP. Shocked by her findings, Dr. Thompson realized the potential consequences of this revelation. In the wrong hands, these satellites could cripple entire nations, rendering all electronic devices useless. But who had installed these weapons, and why? With a sense of urgency, she reached out to her old friend, Agent Michael Rodriguez of the International Security Agency. Together, they unearthed a secret global initiative led by a coalition of nations. The ion weapons were a safeguard, a last resort to protect the Earth from potential threats, both terrestrial and extraterrestrial. The Starlink satellites with their dual purpose, served as a hidden shield, a protector of the Earth. They were capable of disabling any incoming threat, giving humanity a fighting chance. Dr. Thompson was sworn to secrecy, but she carried the burden of knowledge with grace. She knew that the sky was not just filled with stars, it was filled with guardians, silently watching over, ready to protect the Earth at a moment's notice. And so, the Starlink satellites continued their dance, providing internet to the farthest reaches of the Earth, all the while keeping a vigilant eye on the sky, safeguarding humanity from unseen threats. 13 months calendar year. Our ancestors knew this knowledge and have divided a year into 13 months. There are 13 constellations, 13 moon cycles in a year and 27 to 29 days per cycle. All ancient civilizations used this calendar, which followed a natural order of nature and cosmos, and was immensely more in tune with our body's biorhythm. You can imagine why parasites changed it, and subtracted 1 month in order to sever the connection between the people and the sun, moon and other celestial bodies, which all have huge energetic influence on our well-being. Thursday 2nd of November. Benjamin Fulford, World Collusion Course. It all begins with the exposure of the COVID-19 origins, Congress, Rand Paul, RFK Jr., CIA whistleblowers, DOJ whistleblowers all coming forward with massive intel. Direct papers. And evidence to expose the CIA, Pentagon, Fauci, CDC, NIH, and deep state military intelligence agencies in full collision with origin. Russiagate, the spying of the military-industrial complex, deep state military intelligence, ex-U.S. president's bus, Clinton's CIA, Obama's FBI, start of a military coup of Donald Trump and planting evidence and creating the full plan to oust Trump and silence him before a planned pandemic was to take place of the U.S. and countries across the world. Chief of Staff to the Department of Defense DoD Kash Patel with Ezra plus Trump plus military commanders had in place special operations giving military powers to the military to execute special operations we are seeing to this day that is leading to overt operations that lead to military intervention and restoration of the American military under laws of war protocol and procedures. Military is the only way. Exposure of the Hunter Biden laptop is vital to intelligence agencies' corruption and suppression of the Hunter laptop story. This vital deep state move is now uncovered as 51 intelligence officers are caught in collusion with a massive cover-up and placing Biden to become president as the Hunter laptop was labeled false or Russian operation. This important intentional cover-up leading to U.S. intelligence agencies and Biden regimen and Obama are quarters to a military coup over Trump. Planned prosecution of Donald J. Trump by the DNC and DC elites connected to military intelligence and military commanders. This 2024 bombshell is going to come out as two major intelligence agencies are going to step forward with massive evidence and intel. The full corruption of Biden, Hunter laptop, deep state U.S. military intelligence connected to NATO and premier world banks is going to drop hard in DC as they pushed Ukraine war. Exposure will come to light in the trail of money laundering systems to DNC, BlackRock, crypto and Boeing/Lockheed Martin, the military-industrial complex system. From the hidden Epstein database/server/McAfee servers terabytes direct intel into CIA database connection to Google, Facebook, YouTube. A massive 2024 corruption of planned military coup, human trafficking, election interference, Color revolution to world blackmail ring. To money laundering ring through J.P. Morgan, Wall Street, IMF, Davos, Gates, Clinton's, UN and NATO was going to be uncovered worldwide. This massive event will be connected to a clown show of the fall of the United States as a superpower, as the European Union, Canada, UK and countries of the world will see massive corruption coming out of the US. And see the US military inside a massive infighting. They will see the massive corruption of Trump being prosecuted and CIA, FBI, Pentagon, ex-US presidents and world financial institutions behind the corruption. In this time these nations will lose hope in America fully, and in this time these nations and countries will uncover their own corruption that was connected to CIA and Obama and mission, US military-industrial complex system and corrupt financial world system. At the same time in EU and major countries the collapse of the financial institution will kick off major riots in unison with 2024 near-nuclear standoff event and immigration riots. Everything will lead to military intervention and 11.3 protocols and swift martial law. All these events are game theory operations that lead to military intervention, and in this time the real military intelligence information will come out. Thursday 2nd of November David Wilcock, Deep State military intelligence in the US and across the world is constantly monitoring Joe Rogan, Alex Jones and Elon Musk because they hold a massive audience that reaches over 3 billion people worldwide with their information redirected into over 1,000 languages. And their information and drops are redistributed by millions of people through the social media universe, TV and radio networks. Recently I gave you drops that Elon Musk has a high military position inside of United States Space Force and Trump had placed him. Now it's been confirmed by Alex Jones, as he said publicly to his worldwide range of audience. Musk isn't happy about this and publicly distancing himself from Alex Jones and slandering him. But Alex Jones and Joe Rogan are really close and live the same area, and Elon Musk has been sharing all of Alex Jones' information and wide range of intel publicly the past year. I had told you years ago that Rogan was going to be activated and turn against the DNC and establishment, and his distancing from Trump was all show. As you know now, Rogan is constantly praising Trump in his time as president and all the things he did for the American people. Rogan recently met Trump a few months ago, and since then he had been open to interviewing Trump. I told you all this was going to happen. I have given you the truth to tell you there were hundreds and thousands of patriot movements in the US and across the world. It doesn't matter if you only support Rogan, or Musk, or Q, or Tucker Carlson, or RFK Jr., or Benny Johnson, or Trump Jr., or Alex Jones, or Candace Owens, or Russell Brand, or thousands of other right-side movement, or patriot independent movements. It doesn't matter. Behind the scenes the White Hat's military intelligence is moving the movements into one direction and uniting them for a global cause. It's already happening in the Great Awakening movement across the world. It's immensely growing super fast, especially in the last year. Even the vaccinated are joining the Great Awakening by the hundreds of millions. So even though Musk publicly shuns, hates, Jones, it's all show, just the same way Musk distances himself from Trump beginning in 2017. Musk has to do the things to keep public perception that he is independent and not connected to wider military operation taking place. But the secret has been leaked and Musk is upset with Jones for letting millions of people know Musk is a commander inside the USSF military intelligence. Behind the scenes Musk will be used by the White Hats. Musk will also be publicly persecuted by the deep state. Social media, intelligence agencies and the cabal are coming after him. Even White Hats like Kash Patel, who gave him $100 million through DoD, Trump, Ezra, will turn on him and publicly persecute him. This is all a setup so Musk can go before Congress in 2024, soft tribunals, and the congressional hearings. Musk will drop information bombs that connect the CIA, FBI, and social media to election fraud. This will open doors to financial money laundering rings inside social media and the old Twitter. In this important chess move the White Hats are setting up against Musk is important and has always been in the plan. These congressional hearings will lead to military tribunals of 2025. The full storm of CIA, FBI, Obama, Clinton, Biden corruption will lead to tribunals and collide with COVID origin creations, vaccines, deaths and the exposure of worldwide corruption using social media. Musk and the White Hats have all the corruption and data from Twitter servers across the world, plus the full corruption of European, Canada and UK agencies and government data, messages, backdoors to their government servers and all intel.